Hello, my name is Danny Saikajan. This presentation is RED 101, an introduction to the Research Entities Dictionary. The RED is a consolidated ontology used to code NIH research data, and it is one of the foundational components of Beatrice. When you search in Beatrice, you use the Research Entities Dictionary, or RED. This short presentation will tell you what the RED is and how it helps you find the information you need in Beatrice. Beatrice accepts data from multiple sources across the NIH, all with their own terminology, format, and style. If data were shoes, this is what the data that Beatrice receives would look like. Did I mention that as of October 1st, 2015, Beatrice contained 19.5 billion rows of data? It would be nearly impossible for a researcher to find the information they wanted unless some structure, organization, and meaning were applied to this massive data set. That's where the RED comes in. The Research Entities Dictionary is a consolidated ontology that encodes data from the different NIH systems into a single terminology. The RED translates chaotic data into a structured clinical knowledge base that captures research data in a consolidated, electronically computable format. If you had to start with a mess of data like this, it may be possible to dig through and find what you need, maybe using a text match, but it would take a lot of time and processing power. The RED uses hierarchies and relationships to classify the vast and varied information into logical structures that can be navigated either manually by individual researchers or programmatically by computers. Our example shoe data can be classified by gender, or by style, even by color. In Beatrice, it's not uncommon to get similar data from different sources, and each source has their own naming convention. Because the RED classifies information, you can find all the RED shoes, even though some may be listed in the data as crimson, brick, rouge, or even burgundy. Without the ontology, you would have to know all of the naming conventions and terms from every source. Otherwise, your search would be missing data. Since there are many different ways to classify information, the RED is polyhierarchical, meaning there are multiple different classification schemes and the ontologic structure can be quite complex. But there are great advantages to using the RED. By using a single terminology, the 19.5 billion rows of data in Beatrice are linked into a structured clinical knowledge base that captures research data in a consolidated computable format. You can perform class-based searches to pull all the ACE inhibitors or all sodium lab tests. You can search using synonyms, abbreviations, acronyms, investigational drug names, or study names. Since the RED uses a formalized knowledge representation called description logic, computer applications can use the RED for formal semantic reasoning and logic-based queries. And most importantly, using the RED in Beatrice allows you to find data from across the NIH with one search. Thank you for listening to RED 101, an introduction to the Research Entities Dictionary. This short presentation told you what the RED is and how the RED helps you find the information you need in Beatrice. For more information, please watch the other videos in the Beatrice series, because remember, Beatrice, your search begins here.